Hello, I am Minja Jung from Incheon Academy of Science and Arts. Let me introduce the two responses to the humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan. Would you believe that even in 21st century, there are countries where women are sold to ruling parties to be married, entertainment such as dramas, games are banned, education is not allowed? Such a place exists in the world. It is Afghanistan, where the Taliban took power. The Taliban suppresses basic citizens' human rights, such as violating women's human rights and suppressing religious freedom and freedom of speech. How can we resolve the widespread humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan? First of all, it is important to encourage refugees escaping from Afghanistan to be well accommodated and speak out in other countries. Failure to accommodate refugees in Afghanistan in other countries will force them to remain in Afghanistan or illegally stay in other countries. If that happens, human rights violations will not improve and international disputes caused by refugees will only intensify. Since refugees have experienced the most about the internal affairs of Afghanistan, they are just the right people to find solutions. Therefore, if they speak up in the international community, more people will be interested in Afghanistan's oppression of human rights. Naturally, projects to reduce human rights suppression in Afghanistan will also be actively promoted. Second, international organizations must establish a school for women in Afghanistan so that the Taliban cannot use force. If several countries work together to strongly promote and manage the establishment of women's schools in Afghanistan, Taliban wouldn't be able to suppress women's schools due to diplomatic issues. Also, international organizations will need to take charge of management, because we can figure out the reality of Afghanistan and raise our position in Afghanistan country by running a school. If the educational level of Afghan women rises, it will be more advantageous to regain their rights and raise their voices. Finally, the UN forces should be stationed in Afghanistan. If soldiers of various nations gather and UN forces stationed in Afghanistan, they will be able to monitor and resolve a violation of human rights by Taliban more effectively. In addition, since the Taliban maintains the reign of terror, it will not be enough to prevent suppression against the force used is minimalized. Therefore, to respond to this, it is important to station troops and put pressure on the Taliban. The issue of human rights suppression in Afghanistan may not be completely resolved by these three resolutions. However, if these three resolutions are implemented with the attention of people, related projects can become active. Afghan people can develop the power to respond directly and lay the military foundation for responding to the Taliban. If we set the foundation well like this, sooner or later, we will be able to solve the problem of human rights suppression in Afghanistan. Thank you for listening.